Speculation Map version 3? Let's talk about that. Hello everybody and welcome back. It is Michael from Hollow Thrills back with another video, and that is absolutely right. We have Speculation Map version 3 from our buddies over at HNNightmares. You guys can follow them over on X, Instagram, Blue Sky, Discord. I will put all the links to their stuff down in the description for you guys to follow them so you can stay up to date whenever these actually drop. But this Speculation Map version 3 for HHN 34 was released about a week and a half ago, and unfortunately with all this epic stuff going on with Epic Universe, I kind of had to push this to the wayside, but I finally wanted to bring this to you guys to give you guys my thoughts. But as you can tell, we are in a new setup. So since the last time we had our little Speculation Map videos, I did move, so we do have our new setup here. I hope you guys do like it. It's a little bit different. I thought I could change it up, but we got some stuff from It and Not Scary Farm back here. But before we get anything though with the actual video, please make sure you're subscribed and have the bell notifications turned on to get notified whenever I post a video. And also make sure you're following both Instagram and X. The links are down in the description below. But without further delay, let's check out this brand new Speculation Map for Halloween Horror Nights 34. So as always with one of these speculation maps, we will be starting all the way up at the front of the park with Soundstage 23A. Now last time we were talking about these speculation maps, the Soundstage was going to be housing some sort of, it had an icon of like what looked like ring ropes with a little coffin, and now we have a further clarification of that this is in fact going to be a wrestling ring with a coffin in the middle, and it has a little TV icon in the upper right, now signifying that this is something relating to TV rather than movies or being an original. This more solidifies the fact that this is more than likely going to be for the WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. A lot of rumors going around about this possibly being related to The Undertaker, which he did in fact have a house over in Hollywood years and years and years ago, back when he was one of the focal points of WWE. But there also is rumors of this possibly being related to the Wyatt Six, a faction created by Bray Wyatt, who has unfortunately passed away, but has now been led by his brother, and now is going to be this whole big thing with Uncle Howdy, Mercy the Buzzard, Huskus Pig, Abigail the Witch, all these different characters that make this group just terrifying. And I find that this could be a very interesting house if done right. And I'm a huge fan of WWE, so I personally am super excited if this house possibly comes to the event to see how it is handled and how they actually do it. But now let's move on to our next stop, which is Soundstage 22 right there in the Music Plaza. Now this one is a icon that we have not seen at all in any of these maps, and it's an interesting one. So it's 3 pillars with what looks like to be like a mosaic with like a paintbrush in the back. And a lot of people are saying that this is going to be some sort of new icon house. It obviously isn't original in this location because there's no icon in the upper right telling us that this is either a movie or TV. So we can only assume that this is in fact an original. Now there is a couple people saying, like I said, that this is going to be a new icon-based house relating to what they're calling the artist. But doing a little digging on my own, it appears that we may be bringing something over from Singapore, as they have had an icon that is similar to being an artist that has a very interesting backstory, and I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about that. So the character we are talking about here from HHN Singapore is the Killustrator. The Killustrator is a horror illustrator who became obsessed with horror and created twisted incarnations from his own head and brought them to life into the world to terrorize many around him. As a promotion for the character for Singapore, Universal made an Instagram account for this character at thekillustrator.x, where many people could see the drawer's images and teasing videos behind the work based in the event that year. So I'd be interested to see if they do bring this Killustrator over here to Orlando. There are rumors of other aspects of Singapore's event being possibly brought over to our event this year, and I personally think that this is a really interesting character that we could bring over into the event that would really liven things up, and he does seem a bit more twisted and dark, and I feel like we could definitely build a lot off of the Killustrator at this year's event if this is in fact what this is. But let's move on to our next stop, which is going to be that Jimmy Fallon location. The possible house location for this is Soundstage 23B, so the other half that had the Undertaker / WWE house in it. Now this is another IP that we have, and this one has moved from a location over to this location. We talked about it last time, and it's that little surveillance camera, which is more and more showing us that this is going to be Five Nights at Freddy's, which Five Nights at Freddy's in a soundstage is perfect. I cannot wait. We have that film reel in the upper right hand corner that does in fact show us that this is going to be movie based, which more further cements the fact that this is going to be something either related to Five Nights at Freddy's or Paranormal Activity. I can't really think of anything else that this could possibly be relating to, but it's got to be Five Nights at Freddy's at this point. The weird icon that everyone has question marks about for Soundstage 24, and it has changed. The icon was originally some like weird wings with a circle and some city skyscrapers, and then some scythes with like a devil horn, and everyone was thinking that it was Urban Inferno. Everyone thought that this was something related to Urban Inferno, which was a Scarezone back at HHN in Hollywood. This has now changed. It's still the same logo, but everything else, like the devil horns have been removed, and then the skyscrapers have now been replaced with a tree. I have not heard a lot about what this could be, and I personally don't really know anything with it now. I mean, I'm still gonna go with my original gut feeling, which was this is gonna be a sequel to The Fallon, which was a house from HHN 27. I'm still backing that. I don't know how the tree relates to that. I do think though, in general, this is probably more than likely going to be a brand new original idea that we just have no idea what this could possibly be. It's all over the place, but I'm thinking something with either fallen angels or the Grim Reaper or something relating to death or a world beyond is my guess. Now let's move on to Soundstage 25. Soundstage 25, we have the trash bag logo. The trash bag logo is back, and it has moved again and now is in a soundstage. So we started off with this trash bag logo being in one of our sprung tents in the back. Then it moved to Fast and Furious, and now it is in a full-fledged soundstage, being in Soundstage 25. And if this is the only house in that soundstage, this could be a massive house. And this is officially showing as a movie property, which there's a massive film franchise that we have been talking about that could fit in a massive house in a massive soundstage like Soundstage 25. And that's Terrifier. Could we see Terrifier 1, 2, and 3 in a full compilation house at this year's event? I'm starting to think so, because I'm backing it. Everyone is saying it. I'm starting to believe it. Terrifier at this year's event is going to be peak. Well, let's move on to something new. A new icon on this new speculation map, and it is at the Fast and Furious location, and it's a campfire. A campfire with our little film reel icon showing us that this is in fact another movie. And there's a lot of speculation about this one, and a lot of signs are pointing to this one being the return of Jason Voorhees and Friday the 13th to Halloween Horror Nights. It has been quite some time. I think the last time we saw him was at Freddy vs. Jason in 2015. So there have been a lot of rumors speculating going around about Jason returning to the event. A lot of stuff has happened with Jason Universe, which is a brand new film project and just overall project regarding the Friday the 13th franchise that they are starting to work on. So this would be a perfect opportunity for them to put the name back out into the universe and get people excited for possible stuff coming in the future for that franchise. And I mean, let's be honest, we really need a slasher at this year's event, and Jason is one we haven't seen in quite some time. So I am beyond excited if Friday the 13th slash Jason comes. And there's a lot of speculation about this being a overarching film kind of discography for, or cinematography, I don't know, just an overarching, just every single Friday the 13th in one house, just similar to how Hollywood did their Leatherface one. Now we're doing one in Orlando for Friday the 13th and Jason. So I'm excited if that happens. Sprung tent number 3, we still have that book, but there's a little bit more detail to the book now. And we also have some of the little snowflakes. Still snowflakes there. I'm still not entirely sure what this is. We do know now that it is an original, so no icon in the upper right hand corner showing that it's film or TV. So this is going to be an original. So that kind of throws my idea of there being some sort of continuation of Universal Monsters from last year. I'm not entirely sure what this could be, to be honest. It still could be some sort of holiday themed house, but the writing on that book it's very confusing. Maybe something with witches. I'm not quite sure, but I'm interested to see how that one plays out. That one's the one that I'm most interested in out of the ones for the originals that we do not know, is that one, just because it could be so many things. But let's move on to tent number 4. Sprung tent 4, still that thumbs up, but now we have the TV icon in the upper right, signifying that this is more than likely going to be about the Fallout TV series. I mean, how much more can I say about this? I'm excited for it, although I would have preferred that it would have been based on the video games and been based on Fallout New Vegas. I'm not going to complain. It is a different property that we haven't seen before at the event that I'd like to see how they would turn into a horror house. I mean, it'd be interesting to see how they play this out. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they build with this and how they actually make it scary. My fingers are crossed and hope that it turns out well. Let's move on to tent 2. Tent 2, we have a bucket of toys. There is not much else to talk about this. There's a lot of thoughts about this being killer toys, maybe a killer toy store. Dollhouse of the Damned has been thrown around. This is going to be an original because we have no film or TV icon on this. But there isn't really a lot of speculation going on about this one other than it just being killer dangerous toys. So once again, not a lot to go off of for these originals. But an original that is something that we are basically 100% sure on at this point is for tent 1, and it's still Hatchet and Chains. Hatchet and Chains from Slaughter Cinema 2, one of my personal favorites from Slaughter Cinema 2. It's still on this map and still looking like it is going to be in this location, so I'm here for it. I want that spaghetti western horror house. I want it. Inject it in right now. Give it to me. I cannot wait to go through this house in its full entirety if this does come true. But now, it's time for some big stuff. We have Scarezones to talk about, but there's something interesting about these Scarezones. Normally we have 5 Scarezones. We have that one in the front, we have one in Hollywood, we have one in New York, we have one in San Francisco, and we have one in Central Park. We only got 4 in this map, and there's not even a spot for a 5th one. So, are we losing that front Scarezone this year? Possibly. I've been saying they should just cut it and extend Hollywood's for quite some time just because that front Scarezone is a waste of space and a waste of actors. It's upsetting that I have to say that, but that's basically what it's come to with those zones because they are just so inconsistent and terrible. But let's talk about the icons that we have. Let's head all the way over to New York as we have like a little biohazard sign with a it's like a paddle or maybe like a syringe. I'm not quite sure. A lot of signs are pointing to this being some sort of mutant based zone. I'd like to see something maybe like toxic from HHN Hollywood. I know we can't really do Toxic Tunnel because we don't really have a tunnel, but maybe something related to the story or the ideology that they have from that Scarezone over there, bring that over here, or something just relating to mutants or in general. I'm not quite sure. I'd like to see how they play with that, but not a lot to go off of, but it is rumored to be an original, so it could be anything. Over to San Francisco, we have the 3 horizontal lines and a little film reel. 3 horizontal lines, and the film reel means that this is probably going to be something related to a Blumhouse or possibly just Megan. I personally think this is going to be just another Blumhouse zone, as it did fairly well last year and everyone seemed to enjoy it. I personally thought it was a nice zone. At least one of my favorites of recent memory from that section. It wasn't too much of a bottleneck, so I could enjoy seeing it come back again this year. But let's move over to Central Park, as we have like an icon that looks like a wolf and a cat mixed together. I'm not quite sure. A lot of people are saying like werecats or something like along those lines. There's not really much to go off with that. It is an original, obviously, but there isn't really much detail to go off of other than just werecats and just some sort of werewolf cat hybrid. I'm not sure. But the last one that I want to talk about is over in Hollywood, and that is the one I'm more excited about, and that is a masquerade / Mardi Gras style zone. And this one, like I said, super interesting. I think we had Blood Masquerade many years ago. That was one of the more popular zones of its time. And I would love to see whether this is something related to that, or maybe it's something related to Mardi Gras. Personally, I'm a huge fan of the Masquerade aesthetic. So this being in a zone I would love to see come to the event, and they could do so much with that idea and build off of possibly a sequel of Blood Masquerade or just something brand new in general. Overall though, we do know that this is going to be an original, so your guess is basically as good as mine. But the saddest thing that's on this map though is we only got one show. The show for the Lagoon, or the rumored show for the Lagoon, has kind of been pushed to the wayside, and we still now have one show section now where it's just possibly going to be Nightmare Fuel again. I don't hate it. I wish there was a second show to kind of take away from the crowds from certain areas, and especially if we're only gonna have 4 zones this year, we definitely need that second show. That is it for our third speculation map from HNNightmares. If you guys did enjoy, please make sure you drop a like and also comment down below. Out of all these changes from this map now, what are you most excited for? Has anything changed in your opinions on certain things now that they've moved to certain locations? I'd like to know down in the comments below. But as always, I'm Michael from Hollow Thrills, giving you the all clear, and all clear means you're out of here. See you guys next time.